What's up, y'all? You know what time it is? It's about to be that time.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I'm sorry. No! No! You have taken everything from me, El Capitan. The Planeteers, my freedom, mi familia, that monkey. But you'll never take my heart.
Savage.
And we're back. The Good Book of One Piece delivers once again. Chapter 1055. We got some lore. We got some film red promotion. We got
Savage.
the single craziest hockey feat that we may have ever seen. And we've got Admirals in the Mud. Damn, a lot to get into today. But first things first, like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. There's a lot of people out there that are not subscribed, think they are. Why don't you go and check now. So we're going to spend most of this video talking about the Robin scene, but I do want to get my Green Bull and Shanks thoughts out here at the beginning. I wanted Green Bull to fold everybody, move on to the Flower Capital, be a menace. Didn't get that. Congratulations, I played myself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
But I did offer an alternative scenario to everything. Naturally, there's two ways this goes. These 8 individuals hold off Green Bull and make him run away. And then the story of Wano was how the samurai that couldn't defend their home against Kaido and Orochi finally defended their home against another antagonistic force.
Another one.
That I don't like. Could Oda do it? Sure. Not a fan of that. I want Green Bull to steamroll these guys, make it to the Flower Capital, and really do some damage.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
The Wano arc ends with another antagonistic, oppressive force coming from the outside world, but this time they don't want to use the other people, the Strawhats, and they want to be able to protect themselves on their own. So that's where Oda went. But then he also seemingly kind of trampled on that by having the Shanks moment. So there's a little bit of criticism there. The Shanks moment, unreal, crazy, okay? Shanks is basically Enel without the Goro Goro no Mi. He can basically hear and see anything. I mean, according to this, like, I maybe, am I reading too deep? Let me know, okay? Because he was having a full-on communication from downtown, all right?
From downtown! It's good!
Like, that's not even a half-court shot. It's not even a full-court shot. This man was, you know where he was. This is ridiculous, all right? Now, it takes me back to Skypiea, where Enel was able to see and hear across the land. Now, for years, we've thought that that was just his mantra, his observation haki being amplified by his powers. But maybe Enel was actually really a secret haki master, similar to Shanks, but just didn't know armament. Either way, the seeds were sown in Skypiea for this ability. Admiral stocks way down, Shanks stocks way up.
Savage.
We did get a decent bit of fighting here, and still Oda decided not to use Shinobu, who can actually rot all of these vines and trees that Green Bull is using. Just kind of seems like Oda left that on the table. I don't know. Would have been nice to see. We at least got one person folded, and that was Raizo. Raizo was not safe in this chapter. Ooh, Raizo is not safe. Raizo is not safe. Ooh, Raizo is really not safe. Wow. That man got sucked. Ooh, he got hit with a tree Trigon. We do see Raizo at the end of the chapter being tended to by Denjiro, so Raizo will likely be safe soon. We get an answer to the question of how come the Scabbards could sense Aramaki, but the Straw Hats didn't, and then we see the monster trio and their emperor, Yonko captain, sitting and just watching the whole thing like, yeah, they look like they're losing, but it's okay. We're just gonna let them go. Oh man, see what happened to Raizo? Yeah, he might be dead, but nah, I'm not gonna jump in. Oh man, he's got them all wrapped up. Let's see what happens. Ooh, did you see what Momo did? Hey, cool. All right, yeah. Man, that Yamato though, they're not doing anything. They want to join the crew? They're just standing there. What's going on, guys? But it seems like Momo is really pushing for Yamato to be able to leave Wano and join the crew and not feel tied down and bogged like Yamato has to protect everybody. But that's a twofold thing. We could get either side of this coin, where Yamato does join, or Yamato feels like, hey, you know what? That situation was only saved because some other crazy outside Haki showed up. If that didn't happen, what would have happened, right? So maybe I do need to stay in order to protect Wano, which is what Woden really should have done, and if Yamato wants to be Woden, then that's what needs to happen. But never stop someone from having their own adventure. They also want to see the world and all of that, just like Woden did, so we may be getting Yamato on the crew. And it's still hashtag Nami for mommy, okay? I still want Tama for Nakama, want to get Tama as the cabin girl. And what do we start this chapter with? Nami and Tama together again, the real mommy. All right, Speed's in the mud. Agenda firing. Where is Speed? Where is Speed? And forgive me for the hot take, but all of the Shanks stuff really just seemed like a film red promo. Did Shanks have a tie and, some foreshadowing to come to Wano? In a sense, yes. But at the same time, the timing of it all and everything is very convenient. And I'm not saying that Oda manipulated the story to have Shanks here. It's just he may have waited to show us Shanks until this moment. I don't know. It all just is just working out.
Now this is not a tape recorder saying that he did it, but ever since that day I was looking at him different.
But the real interesting thing here is that it's showing us a new level that Luffy can reach. By the end of the series, Luffy should be able to do what Shanks is doing here, which is going to be pretty wild. Are we going to start seeing in the same way that Zoro can shoot a flying slash, that Luffy's just going to be throwing Conqueror's Haki, just throwing it? I mean, he's throwing lightning bolts, so I guess anything's possible, right? A lot of people think that the silhouette at the end of Shanks' little flashback is Uta. I'm not completely sold. Yes, the hair does kind of look like that, but the hand is really weird. So I don't know. Really gonna need the anime to flesh that one out. Now let's get into what was the meat and potatoes for me for the chapter. I know there's a lot of people that were like, Shanks, right? Me, I was like, Robin, Poneglyphs, Sukiyaki, let's go. This was awesome. So we go down these stairs, secret passageway, we get the other road Poneglyph. We've got 3 now. Just 1 more to go, and then we can get to Laugh-Tale.
Quick maths. Man knows algebra.
Law shows up because Oda just can't seem to have Robin be the smart one alone anymore. So Law's got to be there, and we also need to tie Law into the story and keep him there because otherwise his merch sales will probably go down. I don't know what he's going to do in the story from this point forward. That's why he really needs to be a sword member. So we find out that the Wano that we have been on this entire time is essentially the fake Wano. It's the new Wano. Anybody that's seen Futurama is probably familiar with, New New York. And then beneath it is the old New York. The Wano from the Void Century has been submerged and covered in essentially what is rainwater. So the borders, as we have predicted here for a while now, are literal.
Another one.
Literal walls that would need to be actually physically broken in order to open them. So that's why Zunisha was necessary, because Zunisha, with their sheer size, would be able to knock those walls down. How were these walls created is a big question. And is there a tie to the Red Line in that all of this was man-made? We know about a great cleansing, so generally speaking, there's a lot of biblical and different layers to the story. We also have the Noah in Fishman Island. Was the great cleansing 800 years ago a massive flood? And that the Noah's Ark, was used to try and save some people, all of this. And Wano, by some sort of sheer power, was able to shield themselves by erecting these walls and enclosing themselves within that border. Now we know that the ancient Oni race, the ancient giants, were considered continent pullers. Okay, what if that is also, in the same way that Wano's borders are literal, what if the continent pulling is also literal? Some people, have theorized for a while that they have taken islands and then stitched them together, and it's very possible that the ancient Oni race and, Onigashima skull and everything like that could very well be the skull of Orz's ancestor, or maybe even Joy Boy. We have no idea. That would add an extra layer to the story if all of Onigashima was happening, the battle for who is Joy Boy, Luffy or Kaido, was happening on top of the skull of the original Joy Boy. There are some layers there if that's the case, but I also still feel that Joy Boy could have been a literal snake, also taking it back to Skypiea. There's a whole theory on that on the channel. Now, could they have literally, with their sheer size, dug down into the ground and then lifted and pulled the ground up? Maybe. And if it was actually Joy Boy that did it, we already know that they had the Nika fruit. So could they have been using their rubber power, pulling and then creating a wall that way? Or was it an original user of Pika's fruit? Pika would be able to do something like this. I mean, it's a massive feat, would probably require awakening, because I think that the borders of Wano would have to be even 10 times bigger than what Pika ended up being by the end of Dressrosa. Kaido was able to find all of this because he had Jack on his crew. That means that Jack, being a fisherman, was able to swim and search around Old Wano. Was this prior to him getting his devil fruit, or is Oda trying to do like a subtle retcon here in that if you have just rainwater, you can swim in it if you're a devil fruit user? Who knows? Are we going to get several chapters of an exploration of Old Wano? I honestly hope so. Let's have Robin really do something significant, because other than fighting Black Maria, she has been heavily sidelined since the New World. So I would love something that was a la early chapters of, before they got to Jai and they start diving and looking at old ships and things like that. I think we could get that feel. The Strawhats put those, wacky suits on, or, maybe they use bubbles, depending on if there's, some sort of coating mechanic here. Otherwise, just the barrels with the tubes coming out of them. And the sharks emerge, the polar tang, and we start doing an archaeological adventure in Old Wano. Find some old ruins, some old tombs. Maybe we get some information on the ancient kingdom, get some information on the void history. This is the time to do this, and I really hope that Oda doesn't skip this. And just say, oh wow, look, it's Old Wano. No, okay, this is supposed to be the city of gold. Shandora and Jaya and all of that was a literal city of gold, but Wano was supposed to be that as well. Is there gold down there? It's time for the Straw Hats to get paid. The ancient weapon Pluton is said to be sleeping, which implies that it's alive, which I've said that it's probably not likely a physical ship. I've always said that the ancient weapons are probably alive. Based on the only one that we know, Shirahoshi can control Sea Kings, a human controlling living things. Momo seems like they may be an ancient weapon. They can control Zunisha. So what is underneath Wano? What kind of creature that is considered a ship? Which everybody always combats, but the blueprints are for a ship. Blueprints could be the anti-Pluton, like a ship designed to destroy that. But whatever Pluton is it related to the magma that is underneath Wano? Did Kaido and Big Mom essentially fall into Pluton? Is that why it has such destructive force? Because it's magma-based. Is it some sort of a creature or an animal that can use magma? But either way, Kaido and Big Mom were erupted from that, so they could be somewhere. Big Mom's ship drove away. Still think that Big Mom could come back at some point. Smoothie can ring Big Mom out, and we'll be fine. Where do we go from here? I mean, it's a great question, considering that a lot of loose ends are tied up here. I mean, as always, we're getting, more questions than we are answers, but the immediate threat of Green Bull seems to be non-existent anymore. But there are still the world government ships outside of Wano that need to be dealt with, so there is still that. But I think in 1056 we're going to have a very big Luffy moment, because it's 5-6, Gomu, 1000 in Gomu. My guess would be that Luffy is going to declare what his next move is. So whatever island that is, whatever he wants to do, whether he's going to take someone in as a crew member, he's going to have a very interesting declaration. Probably the next chapter, but sometime soon we're going to understand what we need to do. We could also set up the plan for exploring old Wano before we leave, which could also give us a taste into Zoro's lineage, which is seemingly skipped upon and really should be dealt with before we leave. We have to go back to the outside world at some point. The next chapter makes sense since we did tie up a loose end in this chapter, but I'm also wondering if Oda's going to give us a new mission within Wano before we actually start making a move to leave. But we got to get those warlord updates. We have to get the bounties for the rest of the crew. Will Yamato have one? I'm sure that Green Bull will be responsible for making sure that they do get one if they don't have one in this batch. But that's going to do it for this week, guys. Thanks as always for tuning in. Thanks to everybody that supports the channel, everybody that comes through to the streams. This is the part where I normally name a bunch of members, and I am going to do that. But just to preface, YouTube now has essentially gift subs like Twitch does. So we got a bunch of gift subs in the last stream. So there's a lot of names to go through. Shout out to Hero 3 Life, the Hawaiian Punch, and Arari for rejoining. And then the new members are Steven Soup 23, Nighthawk, Landon, Uomo, Focacina, Laz Don't Play That 16, Denomant 101, Duo, Ace 2532, Giovanni Velez, Drago, 3-Day Trip, Mr. Reefer Roller, The Will of Dreams, Vitor Matos, Jay Chizemp, Tage Graham, Epa Berleco, Gamal, Al-Kaifi, Mango Mark, Steve Augustine, Patrick Luo, Chief D Hater, Love Don't Love Me, Jordan Lyle, Custom Cheese, and Jordy Albert. Yeah, shout out to Fable for all those gift members, gift subs, gift mems. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate all of you. All right, we'll be back here for 1056, and then we'll be on break. We'll do a theory for theory, I'm sure. We'll keep the content up. Thanks, everybody. And as always, like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. Later.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.